August 1946. Admiral Richard Byrd, a highly respected U.S. naval officer and explorer, was no stranger to adventure. He was one of the first pilots to fly over both the North and South Poles. After World War II, he was given an important mission: to lead Operation Highjump, the largest expedition ever sent to Antarctica. This mission involved 13 ships, 23 aircraft, and over 4,700 military personnel. The plan was to spend about 4 months there, starting in December and continuing through January, February, and March. The goals were mainly military: scouting locations for possible bases and establishing a presence on this icy continent. But something unexpected happened by the end of February. One of the official tasks was to investigate potential sites for military bases. However, during his explorations, Admiral Byrd came across something completely unexpected. This story reportedly comes from his private diaries, not from his official reports, but from writings he kept hidden and which were later suppressed by government officials who found the contents alarming. According to these diaries, which were discovered by his son after Byrd's death, the admiral described hearing rumors about an entrance to the center of the Earth located under the South Pole. He flew planes under the South Pole, and what he saw shocked him. As he flew over the pole, suddenly the landscape changed. It became temperate, almost like a lush green paradise, something no one expected in such an extreme place. His squadron flew inside the Earth into an environment that defied all logic. There was greenery, and it was unlike anything they had seen before, but that was just the beginning. Byrd wrote about seeing a shimmering rainbow city made entirely of crystal. His airplane was suddenly taken over as strange flying disc-shaped objects appeared around them. These crafts led him down to the ground, where he was escorted into a vast cavernous area. There, he met a being he called the Master in his diary. The Master told Byrd that they were deeply disappointed by what humanity was doing with nuclear weapons. They referenced the recent destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and expressed grave concern about the damage humans were inflicting on the planet. They hoped humanity would stop this destructive path. For UFO researchers, Byrd's diary is especially significant because the modern UFO era began right after World War II and the first atomic bombs. Interestingly, many UFO sightings have been reported near nuclear missile silos. Byrd's story aligns with countless accounts of angelic or extraterrestrial beings who are worried about nuclear weapons and their impact. Military officers at nuclear missile sites have reported seeing unknown beings disarming their weapons. These extraterrestrial entities are concerned that humans are not only destroying themselves, but could also damage the planet, which is their home as well. If Byrd's secret diary is real, it might reveal not only the existence of highly advanced beings living inside the Earth, but also that they are actively monitoring surface activity. After this extraordinary encounter, Byrd wanted to share his story but was ordered to stay silent. Upon his return, he was taken to a government compound and told that everything he said was classified and that he was never to speak about it publicly. This raises the question: could Byrd's experience point to a deeper connection between ancient myths of strange beings living inside the Earth and the modern UFO phenomenon? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and they believe we may be approaching a time when we will face these inner-Earth beings. Antarctica is a land of extremes. Nearly 98% of its surface is covered by an ice sheet up to 3 miles thick. A mountain as tall as Mount Fuji in Japan, about 12,400 feet, wouldn't even break through the ice. Temperatures regularly drop below -50 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds reaching speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. At its busiest, the continent is home to just about 4,000 scientists and military personnel. Antarctica holds a special place in our imagination. Old maps once warned, "Here be monsters." Today, it remains one of the last places on Earth where such warnings might still apply. Though discovered nearly 250 years ago, Antarctica remains a mystery. The ice sheet is so thick that the surface below is hidden from view. Ancient astronaut theorists propose that there's more hidden beneath the ice. Not just geology, but signs of human and possibly non-human activity. Something unusual seems to be happening at the South Pole. Some people theorize that Antarctica is actually an alien base. Rumors of extraterrestrial activity in Antarctica have circulated for decades. If true, and there is an alien presence there today, could it have been present for hundreds or thousands of years? In July 2018, Linda Moulton Howe interviewed a whistleblower who offered classified information about Antarctica under the condition his identity remains secret. He called himself Spartan 1 and was a retired Navy SEAL. Spartan 1 described a mission to the southeast coast of Antarctica in August 2003. They were sent on a reconnaissance mission, officially to locate a certain individual and retrieve information. When they reached their destination, they found a large octagonal structure protruding from the ice. Only the top 18 feet were visible. The rest was buried beneath the ice. The doors to the structure were massive, up to 30 feet thick, yet incredibly light. Spartan 1 said you could push one open with just a finger. Outside, the temperature was at least 40 degrees below zero. Inside, however, the temperature was a comfortable 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. The structure was lit from within by a mysterious lime-green light, but no source of light could be found. The walls were lined with strange symbols that looked like hieroglyphics, but unlike any that had ever been seen. Could there really be mysterious ancient structures hidden under the ice of Antarctica? Some believe these are stone temples built by advanced extraterrestrials long ago. They might contain biological remains of beings that lived there, and perhaps still do. If these claims are true, it could be the greatest archaeological discovery in human history. The Bible's book of Genesis tells the story of Noah and the great flood, in which God sends a flood to cleanse the earth of sinners and start anew. Versions of this story exist in nearly every ancient tradition. Going back 5,000 years, sacred texts tell of an antediluvian civilization that was wiped out by a great flood but had survivors. The Mesopotamians recorded this in the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Egyptians told similar stories in the Edfu creation texts. Plato, writing about 2,300 years ago, spoke of Atlantis, a lost continent that existed 9,000 years before his time. Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, describe Atlantis in detail. For centuries, historians have debated whether Atlantis was myth or reality. Some argue remnants of this civilization could be found under the Antarctic ice. Michael Salla, a researcher, believes that about 13,000 years ago, an advanced civilization, originally from space, established itself in Antarctica, but was flash-frozen during a pole shift. According to this theory, the Atlantis of legend was an extraterrestrial colony on Earth, later buried beneath the ice when the poles shifted. Scientific anomalies detected by radar and satellite, along with eyewitness accounts, are pieces of the puzzle. As more evidence comes to light, we might soon solve Antarctica's mysteries. Whistleblowers argue that much more is happening there than governments admit. Entire bases and even civilizations might exist beneath the ice, working with aliens. Michael Salla says governments know about buried artifacts and ancient civilizations in Antarctica, as well as extraterrestrials currently operating there. David Childress, another researcher, says Antarctica could be an alien home base, an isolated, perfect location on Earth that remained uninhabited until recently. Operation Highjump, launched on August 26, 1946, was led by Admiral Byrd. It was the largest Antarctic expedition ever. The military convoy had 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and 4,700 troops. Byrd was no stranger to fame. In 1926, He and pilot Floyd Bennett were the first to fly over the North Pole, earning Congressional Medals of Honor. Byrd also made the first solo flight over the South Pole and became the youngest admiral in U.S. Navy history at age 41. The expedition lasted about 9 months. Strange reports say they fought battles in Antarctica, possibly against remnants of Nazi forces and extraterrestrials. There were stories of craft emerging from the water and attacking them. Flying saucers reportedly inflicted heavy damage on Operation Highjump. Byrd's March 1947 report mentioned a new enemy that could travel instantly from pole to pole. Fast forward to 2018. A satellite image showed a contrail stretching the entire length of the Earth from the North Pole to the South Pole, about 12,000 miles. Contrails typically last 15 to 30 minutes before dissipating. Only something traveling faster than 50,000 miles per hour, 10 times the speed of the fastest known aircraft, could produce a contrail that long without breaking up. Michael Bradbury, a researcher, said the craft responsible was probably going much faster than Mach 10, or over 70,000 miles per hour, something humanity has never seen before. Today, satellite photography makes Antarctica's surface available to anyone online. In 2016, a striking satellite image showed what looked like a large man-made entrance carved into an Antarctic mountain range. It seemed intentionally designed to fit a specific type of craft. In 2018, researchers published coordinates for what they say is a UFO crash site on South Georgia Island near Antarctica. Photos show clear skid marks on the ice, suggesting an object moved in a straight line before stopping. Some ancient astronaut theorists point out the craft's shape looks similar to Oumuamua, the mysterious interstellar object detected entering our solar system in 2017. Initially thought to be an asteroid, its trajectory and acceleration were unusual enough that Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb suggested it might be an alien probe. The object in the Antarctic images appears about 50 yards long, possibly crash-landing and skidding several thousand feet. The disturbed ice and mountain tracks support this. Could online researchers using satellite technology have found the crashed remnants of an extraterrestrial vehicle and the entrance to an underground alien base? There's much talk about underground bases in Antarctica. Some satellite images show mountain areas with unusual caverns, literal windows shaped like flying saucers. McMurdo Station is the largest research base on Antarctica, located on Ross Island. Opened in 1956, it can house up to 1,200 people. In January 2015, a retired U.S. Navy flight engineer named Brian contacted investigative reporter Linda Moulton Howe with strange stories from his 14 years with the Antarctic Development Squadron. He described seeing groups of silver, round darting objects repeatedly flying to a specific peak and then taking off together. This wasn't a one-time event. According to Brian, many strange things happened during his missions. On one medical emergency, his squadron flew through a no-fly zone and saw what looked like a huge cave entrance in the ice, at least 200 feet in diameter and slanting downward. Their instruments malfunctioned, with magnetic anomalies and power failures, which they linked to this mysterious hole. After the mission, men in suits not from the base reprimanded them and ordered them never to fly over or discuss the hole again. Could this incident be connected to other strange discoveries suggesting archaeological sites beneath Antarctica? Famous polar explorer Admiral Byrd also reportedly saw a massive entrance to an underground world during his 1947 South Pole expedition. Byrd allegedly described a large ice-free opening inhabited by various aliens. When he returned, he was heavily questioned and told to stop talking about what he saw. This raises questions. Is the South Pole some kind of extraterrestrial entry point, a portal so important it's controlled by the military? While it might sound impossible that pyramids exist in Antarctica, recent decades have seen pyramids discovered worldwide in places previously thought unlikely, such as northern Peru, Indonesia, and even Los Angeles. These findings suggest we should consider the possibility of past habitation on Antarctica, perhaps a lost civilization or ancient astronauts. If a gigantic pyramid exists buried in Antarctica, it could be the oldest pyramid on Earth and the model for all others. Research into pyramids worldwide shows they might function as power generators, creating a global wireless energy grid. Some believe ancient extraterrestrial visitors or civilizations with advanced technology used these pyramid networks for navigation and energy transmission. If such a global pyramid grid existed, Antarctica would likely have pyramids as well. The idea of pyramidal structures exists worldwide. It's not random. What was the origin of these structures? Did they start in Antarctica? Might the pyramid Joseph White claims to have found near the Shackleton Mountain Range, along with other pyramid-shaped formations photographed in Antarctica, be evidence of extraterrestrial visitation in our ancient past? If these are man-made, how could they have survived under ice for millions of years? Ancient astronaut theorists argue Antarctica hasn't been frozen for as long as mainstream science claims. They point to a 500-year-old map showing the continent without ice as proof. Scientists at NASA announced in October 2015 that East Antarctica's ice sheet, long thought to be melting everywhere, is actually growing. On average, about 82 billion tons of snow are added to this region every year. Meanwhile, glaciers along the western coast of Antarctica are melting rapidly. Since 2009, around 60 cubic kilometers of ice, equivalent to about 70,000 Empire State Buildings, have disappeared annually into the ocean. Why is ice melting in some areas, but growing in others? This puzzling behavior raises questions. Some scientists suggest there could be underground heat sources causing localized melting, possibly from geothermal activity or even hidden structures beneath the ice. One intriguing idea is that underground cities or bases, perhaps maintained by extraterrestrials, might generate enough heat to melt the ice above them. If true, these hidden habitats could explain the strange patterns of ice growth and melt. And if such structures exist beneath miles of ice, it would mean they were built before the last ice age. What might we find under that ice? Remnants of a lost civilization? Tools or technology that could rewrite human history? Some speculate these discoveries might even hold keys to saving humanity. David Wilcock, a researcher and author, has suggested that once visible ruins like pyramids or obelisks start peeking through the Antarctic ice, the cover-up will end. The truth could shock the world and change everything we think we know. There's no doubt that beneath Antarctica's ice could lie extraterrestrial craft or entire cities. If discovered, these findings would challenge humanity's fundamental beliefs and understanding of our origins. Let's look at Edfu, Egypt, home to one of the best preserved ancient temples, dating back to 237 BC. The Temple of Edfu is like a giant book carved in stone, covered inside and out with texts known as the Edfu texts. What makes these texts fascinating is that many speak about the creation of the world. According to them, Earth was created by powerful gods who descended from the sky. These gods first established a place known as the Island of the Egg, an island rising in the middle of an eternal lake. The occupants of this primordial island were very strange creatures, divided into three groups: the sages, the builders, and the Shebtiu. Nobody knows exactly who these beings were, but they're described as emerging from the water. The gods built the first temples here, the original blueprints for every temple that would follow in Egypt. Once their creation was complete, these gods would meet with a giant bird and ascend back to the sky. Ancient Egyptians believed wholeheartedly in these accounts. If the texts say there was an island where gods ascended, the devoted believed that island truly existed. However, not all the ancient beings left. The texts describe a terrible fate for this island. After many generations, it suffered a catastrophic event. According to the writings, a great enemy appeared, represented as a snake called the Great Leaping One. This snake brought darkness and flooding that destroyed the sacred island. When the waters receded, the original beings, known as the Ancient Ones or Elder Ones, were gone. Some theorists suggest this enemy snake might be a memory of a comet that entered our solar system and broke apart, causing widespread destruction. Could this ancient catastrophe inscribed on the Edfu temple walls describe a natural cosmic event, or was it a deliberate attack on an otherworldly civilization living on what we now know as Antarctica? The mysteries surrounding Antarctica and ancient civilizations tie into a broader story, one that spans the entire planet and the cosmos. Scientists and theorists continue to examine strange satellite images, radar anomalies, and eyewitness testimonies. Some of these point to hidden cities and structures beneath the Antarctic ice. Operation Highjump remains a focal point. Its reports hint at battles fought in Antarctica between unknown forces, possibly Nazi remnants and extraterrestrials. Byrd's claims about flying saucers and enemies capable of traveling pole to pole instantly were ignored or suppressed for decades. In recent years, satellite images have become publicly available and have revealed curious things. One image shows a massive, clearly shaped entrance carved into a mountain in Antarctica, possibly an airstrip or docking bay designed for unknown craft. Another image reveals what looks like a crashed UFO on South Georgia Island near Antarctica. The craft's skid marks are straight and distinct, suggesting it skidded across the ice after a crash landing. The shape of this craft resembles Oumuamua, the mysterious interstellar object detected passing through our solar system in 2017. Some scientists, including Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb, have speculated that Oumuamua might be an alien probe because of its unusual shape and acceleration. Could these satellite images be proof of extraterrestrial activity in Antarctica today? Many believe secret bases, possibly built or maintained by aliens, exist beneath the ice. At McMurdo Station, the largest Antarctic research base, opened by the U.S. government in 1956, strange stories continue to emerge. In 2015, a retired U.S. Navy flight engineer who spent 14 years flying missions in Antarctica reached out to reporter Linda Moulton Howe, sharing first-hand accounts of strange phenomena he witnessed. He described groups of silver, round objects darting repeatedly toward a particular mountain peak, an event witnessed by the entire crew. On one mission involving a medical emergency, his squadron had to fly through a restricted no-fly zone. There, they encountered a massive hole in the ice, slanting downward and estimated to be at least 200 feet in diameter. Approaching the hole caused their instruments to fail, with magnetic anomalies and power losses occurring simultaneously. After the mission, they were harshly reprimanded by men in suits, not from their base, who ordered them never to fly over or speak of the hole again. This episode is just one of many strange discoveries fueling speculation about hidden archaeological or extraterrestrial sites beneath Antarctica's ice. Admiral Byrd's 1947 expedition also reportedly uncovered a large, ice-free opening at the South Pole, inhabited by alien beings. When he returned, Byrd was heavily questioned and warned to remain silent on the subject. Could the South Pole be an extraterrestrial gateway, or portal so sensitive it's tightly controlled by military powers? While it may sound unbelievable, pyramids have been discovered in unexpected places worldwide: northern Peru, Indonesia, even beneath the streets of Los Angeles. Could Antarctica be home to the oldest pyramid on Earth, buried beneath its ice for millions of years? Some researchers propose that pyramids act as power generators, forming a global network transmitting wireless energy. If Antarctica's pyramids exist, they might be the oldest and most important of all. As ice melts in places and grows in others, we may soon witness the uncovering of these ancient monuments. When that happens, the hidden history of our planet, and perhaps our place in the universe, will finally come to light. What lies beneath the ice? Ancient civilizations, extraterrestrial bases, portals to inner Earth? The answers may rewrite human history and challenge everything we know. The mysteries of Antarctica are far from solved. But as technology advances and brave explorers continue to uncover clues, we are edging closer to revealing one of the greatest secrets of all time. Thank you for joining this journey into the unknown. The story of Antarctica is just beginning.